arms, either dragging the arms back or keeping them forward, whatever feels good. Also, if you feel a lot of tension building up in the neck, in the jaw, and the head, because sometimes that is the case, in child's pose, you can always roll your head from side to side, massaging the part of the forehead that's touching the ground. It also helps to release any tension from the neck. It just feels nice. Good. Now drag your hands forward, press into the hands and knees, coming to all fours. Now we're going to stay on our hands, palms as wide as the shoulders, or a little bit wider, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Now tuck the toes under on both feet. Straighten the right leg and bring the right toes down on the ground. Right toes tucked under. Now starting a small movement, pressing the right heel back and then forward. Back and forward. A nice stretch for the calf. So just move at your own pace, either fast or slow. You can even pause. Here, I want your core to be a little bit engaged. So no dip in the lower back. So your core, your belly, your abs are moving up towards your spine. Pressing into the palms down towards the ground. Pressing into the pointer finger and the thumb knuckle. Good. Now return to center. Now cross the right leg over towards the left. And the same movement. May feel a little bit different. Just gentle movement. Now you can see how the movement changes. Maybe you can feel it more in the outer hip. We're just bringing some movement here. In the calf, in the hip. Also brings movement into the wrist joints. Now coming back to center, bring the right foot out to the right, wider than your mat. And again, starting the same movement. Back and forward. Keep your gaze somewhere at the front of your mat. So again, the head is not dropping. A lot of times in these movements, we tend to drop our head. So just notice. Just notice the relation of your head to your spine. Good. And now return to center and bend the right knee. Moving to the other side, the left. Stretch the left foot straight and flex the left toes, pressing into the left heel. And then shifting your weight forward and back. If this is too much for your wrists, you can do the same exact thing on the forearms or the same exact thing on your fists. If you're on the fists, well, this is not very comfortable for me because I'm wearing rings, so that helps to remove the rings. Make sure that your elbows, the eyes of the elbows are not pointing forward, and they're pointing more towards one another, okay? And that the elbows are soft. All right, returning to center, then crossing your left leg over towards the right and doing the same movement. It works in a different part of the hip, different part of the leg, different part of the calf, different part of your ankle. And returning to center, and now bringing that left leg out to the side, toes tucked under, and again, little movement here. Not forgetting the core. Not letting those abs to just fully, take a rest. Keeping them just slightly engaged. Good. And come back to center. Great, take a quick child's pose. 3 breaths in your choice of child's pose. After 3 breaths, come to forearms, elbows below the shoulders, either fists, or this time you can place your palms down on the ground. You place your palms down on the ground, your fingers are spread wide and your wrists are in line with your elbows. They're not closer or not wider. They're just straight, making a straight line. Or you can continue on the fists for a little bit extra support. Now start walking your knees back. Straighten your right leg, tug the toes under. Straighten your left leg, tug the toes under. Forearm plank. Breathe. Now breathing here for 8 rounds of breath. You can stay here in a still forearm plank, pressing your heels back, or for a little bit more core work, you can lift the right toes off the ground and then place them down. Left toes off the ground and then place them down. And continue. So I didn't start the counts. We'll do it for 7 more breaths, rounds of breath. You can do it. Belly in. Core is holding you up. If your feet are on the floor, you're not lifting the toes, keep pressing through those heels back. Pressing the forearms down and forward slightly so your shoulders don't move past your elbows. Your gaze is in between your thumbs. Full deep breath. 1 more breath. On an inhale, lower your knees down and then slowly lower down all the way in your belly. Bring your hands either by your sides or anywhere where they feel good, where you can relax your hands. Bring your head to one side and just rest. Full deep breaths. Just feel how the whole energy of this hard work is rushing through your body. Turn your head to the opposite direction. Good. Now bring your forehead on the ground, on the floor. And bring your feet either together or at least hip-width apart. Press the tops of the feet down. So your toes are untucked. Press the tops of the feet down so you feel the engagement of your thighs. Your kneecaps lift away from the floor. Keeping your forehead on the ground, reach your arms forward and bring the pinky side edge of the arm down on the floor. Your thumbs are reaching up. Now lift your hands just a little bit so your upper arms come in between your ears, just a few inches. Take an inhale and an exhale. On your next inhale, move your hands towards cactus and then straighten them forward. On an inhale, cactus, your palms face down now, and inhale, straighten. And continue. When you cactus your arms, your forearms and your upper arms are parallel to the floor and they're lifted as high as your shoulders. Flex through all the fingers, spread through all the fingers, reach through the fingers. Are your legs still engaged? One more. Next time you come to cactus, pause here. Now bring your fingers on the floor. Your fingers are spread wide. These are called spider fingers. Press all the fingers to the floor. Now lift your elbows to point up. Imagine if the elbows were pointing up. Now press into the fingers, press into the tops of the feet. Lift your head, lift your chest. Now just take a look at where your hands are in relation to your chest. And on an inhale, lower down. Now if your hands were a little bit higher than your chest, a good way to test that's the nipple line. Bring your hands lower. If they were a little bit lower, you can bring them higher. A lot of times the hands tend to be a little bit higher than lower. So now your hands are nipple line, and you can actually test here, drawing a line and bringing your spider fingers back on the floor. Elbows lifting up, shoulders away from the floor, or from the ears. Sorry. Press the tops of the feet down, press into the fingers, lift your chest, lift your head. Take an exhale. On an inhale, lower. Exhale here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale. Inhale, up. Exhale. Inhale, lower. And one more time. Exhale. On an inhale, you lift. Exhale. And inhale, lower. Good. Bring your hands by your sides. Turn your head to one side and rest. You can wiggle your hips from side to side. Bring your head to the opposite direction. Good. Bring your forehead down on the ground. Turn your palms to face down towards the mat and crawl your hands towards your heels. Lift your shoulders away from the floor and crawl the fingers even more towards your feet. Now press the tops of the feet so much that your kneecaps lift, 1/3 of the thighs lift. Keep your legs that engaged. On your next inhale, lift your chest, lift your head. Walk your hands a little bit further away from your shoulders. Breathe. Legs engaged. On your next breath in, reach your arms up. Reach your hands towards your heels. Look down. On your next breath in, lift your legs up, lift your thighs up. Reach your toes back, reach your fingers back. Breathe. Full deep breaths in and out. On your next inhale, lower down slowly. Bring your head to one side. And wiggle your hips from side to side. Bring your head to the opposite direction. Wiggle your hips. You can bend the knees and wiggle your hips. Now slowly make your way to lay on your back. So turning to one side, whichever side feels good. Coming to lay on your back. When you're on your back, hug your knees into your chest and make nice big circles to one direction. Nice big circles to the other direction. Good. Come to stillness. Bring your left leg straight on the mat and hug your right knee towards your chest. Flex through both feet. Open your left arm out to the side, a T. Keep your left shoulder on the ground. Open your right knee towards the right. Keep your left toes pointing up. Keep your left heel pressing away from the left hip and open just a little bit or a lot. Support yourself with the right hand. Bring the right knee back to center. Now bring the left hand on the right knee. Right arm out to the side. Cross the right knee over your body towards the left.